Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. First, I want to apologize for not going to SWA this past Saturday. I know I mentioned it in one of the videos last week, maybe two of the videos last week, that it was SWA week because they always run the second Saturday of the month. We've had some family stuff going on, and I just didn't go there. I didn't go anywhere this past Saturday. But with high school football on the horizon and college football on the horizon, this is the time of the year that I cut back on my refereeing big time. I still do it, but I don't do it every single weekend this time of the year. But the next time I do one, I will talk about it here on the channel, and hopefully I won't have to miss the next one due to family issues. But today, I want to talk some more college football. I don't think I've did a video on this yet this off season. If I have, I apologize for talking about it again. But I don't write this stuff down. I just talk about it, and I don't recall doing a video on this. But if I have, again, I'm sorry. But even if I have, maybe somebody will see it this time that didn't see it last time. But I figure since the season is only about a week and a half away now, we need to go ahead and talk about the 2024 college football rule changes. We know there's rule changes every single year, and every time they make them, they're making the college game more like the NFL, which is why I've said here on the channel numerous times, I don't know how you can like the college game and not like the pro game, because they've made the college game so much like the pro game that there's basically no difference. It used to be there was, because it used to be back in the day, college football, you had the wishbone and the T-bone and the triple option and all that, and NFL teams didn't run that, so it was different. And then the college game outside of the service academies has transitioned more into the spread offense. Well, the NFL didn't have that, but now the NFL has that. So the offenses are already ran basically the same, and every time the college game changes their rules, they change it to where it's basically the NFL game. So with a couple of exceptions now, which don't be surprised if those get changed too, the college game now has the same rules the NFL game does. There's no difference. Outside of the NFL game, of course, we know the players are bigger, better, stronger, faster, and only like 2% of college players make it in the NFL. But outside of that, it's basically the same game. But there's 6 rule changes this year, but I think only a couple of them are really even gonna matter. The rest of them you really won't even recognize. But the one that's basically the same exact thing as the NFL is now we have a 2-minute warning that is at the end of the first half and at the end of the game. So basically, second quarter and fourth quarter. It's called the 2-minute warning, but every once in a while it'll be 1:57, because if there's 2:02 to go when the offense snaps the ball, the 2-minute warning will be as soon as that play ends. But it's basically an extra timeout for both teams because there's 2 minutes to go in the half. Let's stop the clock. And then after that, it's basically the NFL game, the last 2 minutes of the half. Another one is helmet communication, which they've had that in the NFL for a long time. Now it's in the college game, so it's going to make it easier to communicate because you won't see as many guys staring over at the sideline. I really don't think you're going to notice that by week 4, week 5. I think you're going to be used to that, not even going to recognize it anymore. The third one is that there's going to be tablets for in-game video review, which basically, to me, sounds like they're going to have, I'm assuming, coaches on the sidelines that are going to be watching tablets. And they're going to want to go back and review anything they think is reviewable, which to me seems kind of oxymoronic. It seems kind of counterintuitive that they've complained for the last 4 or 5 years now, saying that college football games take too long. We've got to make them shorter, and they've worked on making them shorter. They've gone from about 3.5 hours down to about 3 hours and 10 minutes or so, and now you're going to have tablets for in-game video review. And unless you're telling them, hey, you can only stop this 1 or 2 times a game, you're giving them permission to review everything, which is going to in turn make the game longer. So that seems kind of counterintuitive to me. The other thing that I think is going to be very, very noticeable is horse collar tackles. A horse collar tackle in the tackle box will be a 15-yard personal foul. And I know some people complain about horse collar tackles, and that's part of the game and all that, and it is, but if you don't know how to tackle, you shouldn't play football, and there are ways to tackle somebody without having to horse collar tackle them. So I'm glad that players are learning how to tackle, which you should be taught that in about Pee Wee Football League. But you have to get rid of it because there's always going to be accidents and always going to be mistakes. But you're always also going to have those players that are going to be out to injure somebody, and they're going to try their best to hurt somebody. And because of those players, that's why you have these rules, because they will intentionally do it, trying to hurt somebody. And then there's conference-wide video review, which, without sitting there and reading all the fine lines and all the details, I'm not really sure what the difference is in conference-wide video review and tablets for in-game video review, unless the tablets for in-game video review is just there at the game, and the conference-wide video review is people that are going to be back at the conference headquarters watching tablets. Otherwise, it sounds like the same thing to me. And the last thing is there's going to be head coach interviews after the first and the third quarter, which to me is just giving the coaches more time to be on TV, which seems pointless. And again, that seems kind of counterintuitive, because that's going to in turn make the game longer. Not a lot longer, but you still have to have a 1.5, 2-minute break between quarters. So now, instead of going to break as soon as the quarter ends, they're going to interview the head coach and then go to break. Unless they're going to do what the NBA does, which is have the sideline reporter record the interview during the break, and then when it comes back on, as soon as play starts back, they go back and replay it. And if you do that, that's kind of dumb, because once the play starts, the fans aren't paying attention to what the coach says. They're watching what's happening on the field. So if it is going to be live, it's counterintuitive on making the game shorter and then adding stuff to make the game longer. And if it's going to be recorded, it's dumb, because football's played so fast now that if you try to play it when the quarter ends, before it even finishes, the next play is going to start. Any thoughts on this? Please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. What do you call a shaggy vehicle? A carpet. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.